My name is Garry Perry. I'm Associate Director for Patient Experience and Relations at Walsall Healthcare. On the screen you will see Charlotte Yale, who is our Divisional Director of Nursing for Children, Young People and Neonates, who is also the co-lead for the Little Voices work stream. So, what is Little Voices? A little bit about the hospital, very short though, because I want to move into the nuts and bolts of what Little Voices is all about. But we're a medium-sized hospital serving a population of 270,000, with the 20th most deprived area in the country. Walsall is, and there's lots of new activity around our new ED and some children's provision as well within that setting as well. So, in terms of Little Voices, it all began following the publication of the 2020 Children and Young People Survey, and some of the problems that highlighted for us as an organisation post-COVID, lack of engagement with children, young people, carers and their families. But more importantly, it allowed us the space to think about what types of things we would want to do in future in terms of patient experience and engagement with children and young people in particular. So Charlotte led an initiative called Back to Basics, taking everything back to the root cause of nursing, those foundational aspects of what good nursing looks like, but more importantly, how we can involve children and young people in changing the scope of the future of our services here at our small acute trust. But also, key to all of this was recognising Article 12, the UNICEF Article 12, the rights of the child, but more importantly, the rights of the child to be heard, which led us to some out-of-the-box thinking. So some existing mechanisms that we already had in place for gathering feedback from patients and their families included obviously the friends and family test, tops and pants. Very popular, so it's tops for anything that is good and it's pants for things that children themselves are not necessarily feeling positive about, and there's a nice washing line on the children's wards with all those tops and pants clearly displayed. Ups and downs, that's the opportunity for parents to provide feedback. On our neonates, we use sharks and dolphins, so that's very much themed around the sea. We have a very strong parent support group in our neonatal unit as well. But also some of the new things that we trialled following Back to Basics was the onset of our patient involvement partners, and we've heard today how key they are to organisational change and improvement. Increasing the use of volunteers working alongside our staff in our children's areas, but also particularly useful for us when we're looking at play. And the onset of a mystery patient scheme that's not independent people coming into the hospital doing some focused work, but actually it's given the opportunity by the use of technology for people to feedback 24/7 anytime throughout the year through the use of a QR code. And these are at the bedside in every bed space in the hospital, and very popular mechanism for getting more detailed feedback than the usual routes. So here's the team. Freya, Tommy, Alfie, Caden, Melody and Molly. They are the real stars of this show. And we've heard today on a normally ordinary Wednesday afternoon, dull and dark it is here in Walsall, cold as well. But I think all these presentations and hopefully some of the things you'll hear that the Little Voices have actually been involved with will bring some warmth, happiness and light into your lives this Wednesday afternoon. Because it really is phenomenal work that our Little Voices children and the team have been delivering. So what did they do? So Little Voices, we went into the school, we partnered with a local primary school, a school that is a good school, but it has significant challenges. Particularly it's where the national curriculum is very much focused on creativity, because there's some learning objectives for that school, challenges around children of concern, some families and children have looked after children as well. So the pre-visit focused on all the tools that we needed to do the job. So we revisited the NHSE 15 Steps Toolkit. We made it child friendly by co-designing a new approach with our Little Voices children. We had lots of conversations about what to expect before they came into the hospital for their first visit, i.e. who we were, what we do, what to expect, what they may see, what smells, what the organisation will look like, what things they're likely to encounter is really important for them. How to use the toolkit, what to look for, And then obviously conversations around confidentiality, what that meant. And the children did a focus session on learning new words. So knowing what paediatrics meant, knowing what confidentiality was as a word. So in terms of English and some of the stuff that they can go on into school to build on, writing skills, all sorts of things were at play here. And more importantly, our infection control work. The children designed a hand cleaning observation sheet with our infection control lead. And we did lots of work around the importance of hand washing, hand hygiene, more importantly, how we grow bugs that can tell if people are not following correct infection control practices, which really excited the children, especially passing the poo round, which you can probably see, was a very exciting moment for them all. And even more so was when they learnt what that grew when they came back onto site to visit. So that's just an example of what the toolkit looked like, that redesigned toolkit. If you've seen the NHSE examples, they're very good, but they're not always very friendly. So this is the child-friendly version with some change in wording. So the head teacher and the group of children work with us on words that children would understand, because this is their voice, not ours. It's not an adult doing this inspection. It is the children's voice that is critical to this work stream. They designed an audit tool so they could assess the lunch. So we gave them lunch whilst they were here, and they were able to tell us whether or not it was the right portion size, whether or not it satisfied them, whether it was hot, and what the taste of that food was as well. But also an opportunity for them to talk to us about their day. So as we bring children through this scheme, and we'll go on to involve other schools and other partners in this work stream, tell us about the day. What was best parts? What was tops? What was pants? As you know, that will feature quite a lot. And here's some of the things that they said. So they visited our paediatric unit, they visited our children's ward, they went into our ED department and our assessment unit. And our ED department PAU area is very new. It's only opened in April of this year. So there's still a lot more to do around making that engaging for our children. So lots of things about scribble walls, but no pens. You know, you think that's a very basic thing that we should have got right, but the children picked it up immediately. Hand gels not being at the correct height for a child or even someone in a wheelchair, as one of the children quite pointed out quite robustly. More colour, more pictures, more engagement, themed pillows, linen. They picked up on a mirror in the sensory room, which they felt was dangerous because it wasn't that visible when the lights were off and going in the sensory room. And toilet signs, very key to children, particularly because the infection control work that they've done was making sure that, yes, we know that there are toilets on these areas, but where are they? We can't see the display. And for a little one, they said it's important they know where the bathrooms are as well. So since then, and since our wonderful Penner Award, which again has opened up lots of opportunities, everyone's been saying today, for us, a real opportunity to showcase, work with other trusts and collaborate. We've done a lot of we did. So we helped, we're midway through designing our new playroom. So the children had a look at it, had a look at what was going on in there, and that's now been formally opened on our children's ward, because play was key to the national survey as an outcome. We've now got our Enhancing the Ward Experience volunteers working within the children's areas, supporting the play specialists with the delivery of play and engaging with children. We've now had a hand gels. Since I produced this presentation, they're now being lowered with new stickers on that the children designed, so they're visible to a child's eye, encouraging hand hygiene. And every toilet door has one of these A0 posters on, so people know how visible where those bathrooms are, and obviously reinforcing those hand hygiene tips. Of course, we also then went further and we've launched It's OK to Ask, a children's version of that initiative, particularly focused on those 3 questions for parents and carers about understanding what's wrong with their child, how they can get involved with the child's care, so it sits alongside the patient voice. We've signed up and we're about to go live with the Little Journey app, which is very much a digital app that helps children who are coming into hospital for surgery. It's to reduce pre-hospital admission anxiety, and again the little voices have been key to the design of that. Even the avatars that are being used are going to be our little voices, so it's again, there's a legacy here for those children. We won a gold award for the Infection Prevention Society National Awards, International Awards, I believe, for infection prevention and the involvement of children in hand hygiene audits. And our patient voice reports, they've not just been launched across paediatrics, they've been launched trust-wide with lots of data and intelligence around what patients are saying about those areas. More importantly, some of the good things that are happening. All of our paediatric units, since the onset of this initiative, all of those children's areas are now scoring consistently 90% and above in the friends and family recommendation, which again was a key challenge to us a lot earlier on in this process. And finally, because I don't want to go over my 10 minutes, because I know I did, that was my mistake at Penna, and I'm not going to do it again. Finally, gift a gown. Some of you will have heard me talk about that when we were at the National Awards. And that's an idea that we had to support children who often come into hospital, particularly in an area like Walsall that suffers deprivation without hospital wear, nightwear or gowns. So our gift a gown appeal was launched in October. I'm sitting in my office now. There's bagfuls of brand new pajamas, dressing gowns, slippers, all for our children, so that nobody has to the embarrassment really of being in hospital in day clothes, because the families have no resources to buy them nightwear. We've been back into school and we've worked with the children on our Sleep Time Matters initiative, which is our last but one slide, and I'll tell you what the upshot of that has been. The children have also taken part only last week in our Desert Island Discs approach to staff recruitment. So some new nursing staff who were recruited for our children's ward. The children have come in. Andy, who's my patient experience manager, led a Desert Island Disc approach to involving children in the recruitment of some new senior nursing staff on our children's areas, which was really exciting, and the kids were just unbelievable as ever in that. So our Sleep Time Matters, we're having a focus on a lot of themes now. So meal times will be next. Sleep Time was our last initiative, so the children helped us design a toolkit for encouraging sleep, why it matters for children. So it's directed at parents, but them as well. So when they're in hospital, they can use the toolkit in terms of what matters to them. And going back to that you said we did approach, obviously one of them was around linen and things that belong. So for infection control reasons, it's not possible to have children's design linen in every bed space, but we are now going to encourage people to bring a favourite blanket that a child might have into hospital through our Bring a Blanket approach, which fits in with a whole Sleep Time Matters approach, including oral hygiene and mini mouth matters as well. And this toolkit is now being used on our children's areas. It was a fantastic opportunity for us to showcase, and like everybody else, we were overwhelmed with not just the category winners, but being the overall winners really shone a light on us. And I'll go back to what I said, linked in really to Article 12, and I think I said this at the conference as well, and that's listening to the child's voice. It's crucial. It's crucial for understanding their perspective. It fosters good communication. It promotes their emotional well-being as well, and we're seeing that through the designs of the toolkits that we're now using. It builds trust. It encourages self-expression from children and young people, but it ensures that their needs, their concerns are acknowledged and addressed. And like everyone else has said, we're happy to support any trust, any organisation who thinks they can learn from this initiative, which is very simplistic in its approach, but massive in its impact.